Hey, what's up? Welcome to Degen Ed. That's degenerative education, meaning none of this is financial advice. Just me having fun looking at charts like the chart behind me, which is of Dish Network, or ticker symbol DISH. And so I wanted to follow up on the last video because that was made after this gap up was formed. And so I expected there to be a pullback, possibly retesting this downtrending level of support. And that did not happen. We still do have a gap to the downside that needs to be filled at some point, which is at $4.48.5. There was a gap to the upside, I believe at $5.26. Clearly that was filled. I adjusted that line to be $5.22 because it does look like there is a lot of consolidation under that level. And I do think that might be serving as support in the near future. And so that's largely because we do see the RSI going above 70, currently at 75.61, suggesting that it is overbought. We do have this level up here that I marked at $6.16, kind of in the range of that level to about $6.30, which I'll bring up in just a minute. I do think that will probably serve as a top before there is a pullback in either testing 522 or maybe coming back to fill this gap below $5 a share, around $4.50. And so corresponding with this yellow line at 522, looks like there is a volume shelf here corresponding with this consolidation over here. And so I do think that is going to be important support at some point, possibly in January. And then moving higher, it does look like there is this volume shelf here right around the current price. So I do think that's going to be tough resistance to break above. So I do think we will get some wicks up to 616 or 630. But I do think that we're going to have a hard time closing above or at these levels. Because I do think there will be a top soon. But I have been proven wrong about that before, as I did expect a pullback to fill this gap. That has yet to be done. And then if we do kind of take a step back, looking at the chart more broadly, you can see where this red line comes in, 616. Basically, that served as support over here, did break through briefly. But this kind of general area where we see this volume shelf, that has served as notable support in the past, so I do think it will be tough to break above the current levels at 577, especially getting into the $6 ranges. And then, yeah, so that's basically all of the price action for these levels that we've seen. And I also wanted to throw up the moving averages because I do think that there's some useful information with those. I'm just going to adjust the chart a little bit so we can see them better. So basically, if we look up, I had mentioned in the last video that the 200-day moving average, this blue line here, was well above the stock price. It does look like, though, it's converging on what looks like the base of this volume shelf here, as well as this red line that I have drawn going over to the support here. So I do think in the coming days, the 200-day moving average will be converging with around 616, maybe 620. And I do think that's going to be a tough level to break above. We will need a lot of volume to really break above that. But it's interesting, we saw all of this volume traded on December 29th, and we didn't really see much action going up. That could be because we generally saw the stock market prices going down. So I guess it is telling that this one went up nearly 2% on the day. But, you know, that was buying pressure being faced with selling pressure. And so we didn't really see too much movement on that day, especially considering all of this volume. So I do think the 200-day moving average is going to serve as notable resistance. However, I do think it's interesting that the 21-day moving average, this like orangish line, did cross over the 50-day moving average, the yellow line. So that does suggest bullish movement, but we already have seen that. So I do think in the next couple weeks, we will be seeing a top, probably consolidation, might be a bearish pattern, and then a turnaround to test 522, if not lower. And so, you know, those are my thoughts. If you found them helpful, make sure you like the video, share your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thanks a lot and Happy New Year.